Hi everyone, this is Richard. In this video, we're going to go over interpolation. So do you remember interpolation in previous Dart? I hope you do, because if you don't, really a quick review, we would say something like string a equals, let's put int a equals 33, and then we would say print I have $a dollars, right? So then you would do this, and so the a variable would get inserted behind the dollar sign, and if it was something complicated, we would put the curly brackets inside of there, right? So this is interpolation. Interpolation basically is getting an object and putting it in an unlike area, or getting an unlike object and putting it in a different area. So this is sort of like getting this object here, the value of a, which is an integer, and putting it in with a string. So we're putting a variable in with a string in and of itself. So I think that's the definition of interpolation, at least in this context. So what we can do in Dart is interpolation in this manner. Angular does it a little bit differently. I'm not exactly sure. I think because JavaScript doesn't have string interpolation inside of it, and that's why they had to make it up, but I'm not 100% positive about that. What interpolation is done in Angular is by using something called the double mustache, not the triple, the double. There we go. So two open curly brackets, two closed curly brackets, and the character, the variable, is in between. All right, so let's have a real simple example. Input type equals text, value equals hello, div hello there. And we'll save this. Very, very simple, okay? So what if we want the value to be not just hello, but we want it to actually be something that we can change from time to time? We can use interpolation right here, and I'm gonna put greeting right inside of there. So if I put this in 15 different areas, greeting equals 15 different variables in 15 different areas on your template, it would work in all 15 areas. You only need to type it or change it once. Hello, if I change this to goodbye, it would be goodbye there, okay? This is kind of interesting because you can put it actually anywhere. So notice it was the attribute of this particular element. So we could also do type here as well. So I would say string type equals number. Actually, type equals button. And so I would put type inside of there. So if I wanted to change this, it makes it into a button. So it gives us a lot of flexibility in terms of what we want to actually do. We could put it in the element. We can put it right over here as well as text in the inner HTML. So I'll say, what do you want to put there? Let's put type here as well. Right inside of there. Okay, so in between the div elements, button, because that's the value, that's the value of type, which you put in right here, okay? Pretty simple and straightforward. Couple of things. This variable, these variables up inside here, type and greeting, have to be inside of this particular class right here. The way I think of it in my mind, it's kind of like this particular class is main.dart. It obviously isn't main.dart, okay? But it's the idea that everything starts in the class below the template up above. And that's important to keep in mind because, for example, what if I had outside of this class and I had string hello equals hi. And so I put inside of here, hello. For this variable, right here, it's not going to see it, all right? So there should be no value inside of here. It actually doesn't even run. It'll give me an error, I think. I don't think it's giving me an error, but it still won't run. So hello should be type equals hi. Actually, that doesn't even make any sense. Maybe that's why. Let's change this instead right here. That's a bad example. So that will still be the type equals button, but in between the div, the text will be, or the inner HTML would be the word hi. It still doesn't work, okay? Because it's still not seeing what this actually is, okay? If that's actually true, how do we get this information everywhere else? Well, we have to make sure it's in this class, but at the same time, what if the value isn't in that class, right? So I have some other value, I don't know how to put it in this class, what am I going to actually do? Well, we can always create another class, right? Let's create another class. Class something, int1, string2, and then we'll go ahead and say this.1, this.2, okay? And this is the constructor, of course. What we could do is something equals new something 33 some number. We could always do this. All right, so then in our here value, that would be, we want to have the value in there be something like 33. Okay, so we're creating a new object in the app component class, and then we'll go ahead and give this, it's going to be something dot 1, right? So it's going to be object type equals 1 right here, so something dot 1, and in the div I'm going to say something dot 2. So what we should see is a button that has the value of 33 in it, and then right underneath it it'll say some number, okay? And that's what we can do. So that's how we can actually get information from other places and put it in the app component class. Now, you may be looking at this and saying, we're not supposed to do it that way. We're supposed to use something else like a dependency injection instead. And I hope you at least thought that, because this is not the correct way. Well, this is a way of doing it, but we would probably use dependency injection, create other classes, and then inject it inside of the app component, or at least this class, the app component, in order to get these values recognized in the template. But dependency injection in Angular is done a little bit differently from what we've done in the past, and so we'll have to go over that in the future as well. But this is just something to keep in mind with the scoping itself. Be very careful about where your functions and where your instance variables actually are, because they have to be in this class underneath the template, otherwise it won't be recognized. Okay? Thank you.